welcome to Turn the Page, the official podcast of the Syosset Public Library.
Hi, welcome to Syosset Library's Turn the Page podcast. I'm your host, Jessica. We are heading into as of recording this, we're heading into the fall. I am here with the author, Anne Rose, who wrote A Hexcellent Chance to Fall in Love, which is a really nice, sort of Halloween-y, spooky rom-com with a really interesting curse at the center of it. So first of all, Anne, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So excited to chat with you about this book because it was super fun. Please tell us a little bit about A Hexcellent Chance to Fall in Love and about Pepper and Christina and where the idea for the book came from.
Sure. Okay, so I guess I'll start with where the idea came from. And that is really because I was scrolling on social media and I came across this post that was essentially something like, make sure you're not in the Spirit Halloween store at 12 at midnight on Halloween, right? And I go, oh my gosh, that's brilliant, right? So of course I immediately screenshot it and I text my agent and then I go, okay, so Ava, hear me out. There is this girl and she's cursed as it's part of the Spirit Halloween store. And when it disappears, everyone forgets her, but it's a romance. Right? And so she's like, okay, Anne, well, you need a plot. And I'm just like, come on now, come on now.
Can't the plot just write itself?
Right.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
for me, always like the plot comes second. Like the idea is first. And if the idea sounds fun, like then we figure out what the plot is. But she always is really good at, indulging me in my ideas, I should say. And so when my first book sold, The Seemingly Impossible Love Life of Amanda Dean, they bought two books from me. And so the second book became A Excellent Chance to Fall in Love because I pitched it to my editor and was like, hey, how about this idea? And she said she loved it. So that's kind of the story behind it. And so, yeah, the curse is it's a woman who is cursed to have her soul eternally tethered to the seasonal holiday store, which is a Halloween store. And when it vanishes, everyone forgets the person that the store is attached to, but they don't forget the store itself. So that's kind of the gist of it.
That's a really interesting premise. And I think I'm used to I know it's not the same, but I'm used to kind of seeing something similar to that attached to like a time loop type situation and, like a Groundhog's Day or something. But I liked the way that this worked. So Pepper is the proprietor of the store, which is called
The Dead of Night.
The Dead of Night. And it is, it's funny because when I read the premise, I was like, I wasn't necessarily expecting it to really be like a Halloween, like a spirit Halloween. I'm like, no, this is gonna be the real deal. Like, so I was surprised that the store that Pepper worked in, it was like literally a spirit Halloween. It wasn't even like, hey, this is like a specialty Halloween store with enchanted costumes where, if you dress up as, I don't know, a witch, you become a witch. I guess maybe I was thinking of Buffy the Vampire Slayer had an episode kind of like that. But this is like, it's a literal spirit Halloween store where there's the trendy costumes and you have, the tchotchkes and the decorations and the sale.
It is it's very loosely based on the Spirit Halloween store. Yes, I was inspired by that. I just really like the idea because we all are kind of, especially here in like United States, like we're very aware of like the Spirit Halloween store. Like one day it pops up somewhere. You never know where it's going to be. It's just going to pop up in some location somewhere and it's just open. And then right after Halloween, boom, it's gone. It's closed and you never see it again for another year. So I just really like the idea of, well, what if it really was a human soul tethered to it? And that's what powered the store, but no one would remember it, like, because that's part of the curse. So I don't know. I like to link things to the real world when I can. So I think that was kind of fun.
So how did Pepper come into play when coming to like who was going to be cursed to manage this store and what the terms of aside from because it's not just that you will forget her, there's perks to it also.
There's absolutely perks, and that's what Pepper like hones in on for her character, right? Like she's basically the CEO. She doesn't have to do anything. She basically lives for free. Like she can do whatever she wants. And, she calls herself the CEO because, what else is there to do? But I don't know. Like I felt like it had to be someone who had well, when we meet Pepper in the story, she's kind of like been through her grieving process of becoming this thing because she's been doing it for 5 years when we start the story. So this is not her first year being cursed. She's committed to her role in this, and she didn't like that she was tricked into doing it. And so she kind of made it a goal of hers to never trick anyone else. So she's just kind of like, you know what? I made this choice. I messed up and I'm just going to live with it. So I don't know. I just think it was kind of fun that it was someone who wasn't like necessarily seeking to get out of it until she had a reason to seek to get out of it.
The other terms of the curse, it's like she has like zero commute, right?
Mhm.
Like, yeah. She's eternally young.
She stays the same age. She has to be in tip-top physical health for the store, right?
Right, right,
So it
right. Yeah.
requires her to be healthy. Her home, no matter where the store is located, is kind of magically attached to the second story. Whether the building has a second story or not, it doesn't really matter. Her home is up there. So she has this little apartment. It's attached to the store. When she walks in and out the back door of the store, wherever that may be, she has the ability to see her own door and go to her own house, right? So there's a little bit of magical kind of elements to it. But yeah, I mean, those are perks. I mean, who wouldn't want to just, okay, I just wake up, go to work, right downstairs.
Yeah, but then she meets Christina, who
Right.
is new in town and has some family drama, and the two of them hit it off, and it becomes sort of there's like a countdown built into the book um as to when the store closes, which means when Pepper is gone, and the buildup of their relationship where they realize that there's a spark between the two of them, and then it just kind of continues. So, it's like inconvenient almost that this new person comes in. And then it's like, how do you tell somebody like, oh, BTW, I do like you, but
We only have 70 days together, and then you'll forget everything about me and everything
yeah.
that we had together. Yeah. So it definitely, that ticking clock timeline does add a level of stakes to their story that I think is really interesting and compelling. And so I don't know. I really liked it. I hope readers like it. But I think it's kind of fun to have to see what they're going to do to make it work. And I also kind of love the drama of it that before Pepper was cursed, she was the town's theater teacher. Like she worked at Clover Creek High. She was the theater teacher. Now Christina has basically what Pepper's dream job was. So even if she does break this curse, like what's going to happen? Because Christina has the job that Pepper always loved so much. So there's a lot of extra little drama and nuggets kind of built into their budding relationship.
For you, what do you think makes their relationship authentic? I mean, I certainly felt like it was, and I really enjoyed watching them. It's told in dual perspectives, watching them fall, the montage of them falling in love with each other. But for you, what sort of clicked with the characters?
I think it was kind of a play off of just them learning to be vulnerable with each other really helped make them feel authentic to me and their relationship feel authentic. There's also something very special about just like girls and how, girls' friendship in general, but like their love is obviously not a platonic love. It turns into a romantic love, but there's so many different facets of love you can have. And so I think there's just something very special about women supporting each other and growing from that we could learn from. Everyone can learn from.
Of the side characters, do you have a favorite? Was there somebody in your mind who kind of like stole certain scenes?
Oh my God. Everyone asks like which side characters are my favorite. And I kind of love them all for different reasons. Like I love um that Christina has her ride or die friend in Cammy. And I love all the characters in the store for Pepper, right? Like there's Lisa and her silly Halloween swear words because they can't swear at work. And then there's Caleb, who's just so gung ho about Halloween, and Dewey, who's like this pragmatic character who's always there. And so I don't know, they all have their very unique personalities that I couldn't pick a favorite if I can't. I love them all.
So, are you ever planning on returning to this town then?
To Clover Creek. I mean,
Yeah.
I would love to return to Clover Creek. I kind of want to go live in Clover Creek. So, if we could like build a Clover Creek and then a Halloween store that I could live on top of, I think that would be fantastic. But until that happens, right now there are no plans of returning to Clover Creek. But if enough people tell my publisher they want Clover Creek stories, I'm sure they would be willing to make that happen. And I would be very happy to go and visit Clover Creek like in the summer or in the spring or the winter. What does it look like there? So it could be interesting.
That's really fun. So, I mean, you don't have to say anything. So, like in your mind, there are other stories that could take place in this town.
Always. I mean, I am a big proponent that no story every story can be a series, right? Like it doesn't matter like what it is. There's a prequel, there's a sequel, there's a spinoff. Like I have probably 100 ideas a day. You can ask my agent. I send them all to her. I don't send them all to her, but I send her quite a few of them. So I could definitely see returning to Clover Creek in a different season with some different characters and having some fun there.
Well, thanks so much. Do you have another book on the way after this one?
I don't have anything planned now.
No.
I know. We have
Your
to.
writing is so much fun.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, it doesn't mean that there aren't any. We haven't sent my option into my publisher yet. So there's just nothing confirmed yet. But I do hope there are more because I definitely have a lot more stories to tell.
Mhm.
And I'm definitely working on a couple as we speak. So,
I mean, that kind of leads me to a question that would generally be an opener, but what got you into writing? How did you start?
it's a kind of silly story that years ago, my niece, who when she was like in middle school, I think she was like, Auntie, will you read books with me? And I was like, sure, yeah, like just tell me what you want to read and we can read them together. And so she would pick out the title and we would both read them and have our own little book clubs and talk about it. And this went on for years. And so finally one day she like just calls me sobbing, sobbing, sobbing because her favorite character died. And so I'm an auntie. What do aunties do when their niece calls them sobbing? You say, oh my gosh, I love you so much. I'll write you a book. Of course. So that's kind of how it all started, is I told my niece I would write her a book, and I found out that I actually kind of love this because I've always told myself stories in my head. So it just was a matter of just writing them down.
That's so much fun. Well, thank you so much. Check out A Excellent Chance to Fall in Love. It is wonderful. The characters are fun. It's got some good fall vibes. The concept is super. And thank you for coming to chat with us.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. This was Jessica with Syosset Libraries Turn the Page podcast. Our guest was
Anne Rose.
and we are going to close this chapter.
It's time to close this chapter of Turn the Page. Join us for the next episode.